Layaways, credit cards, and why you should never make another New Year's resolution on this episode of Unlock Your Wealth Today, your life fully invested. Welcome to this New Year's edition of Unlock Your Wealth Today, your life fully invested. I'm your purveyor of prosperity and host, Heather Wagenhals, and on this episode, I'm making success simple by helping people just like you overcome your personal and professional challenges to get out of debt, achieve financial freedom, and live the life of your dreams right now, today, with my biology-based approach to success. And have we got some surprises in store for you? Because everybody is gearing up for their New Year's resolutions. And you're probably saying, why did you say kick those to the curb? Well, we're going to kick those to the curb, and I'm going to give you a very good reason why as we move through today's episode. But I wanted to talk about a couple of things. I wanted to talk about the difference between credit cards and layaway and why that is important and how it's going to play into what we do for our New Year's resolutions, or lack thereof, because we're going to get rid of them. Actually, I have to tell you, I made one New Year's resolution about, 25, 27 years ago. I think it was about that long because it's been some time. I was in my 20s when I made this resolution, and I vowed that I would never make another New Year's resolution again, and I've stuck to it. And so we're going to learn why. So if you have to make one more, I hope to encourage you that that would be it, to never make another one. And I'm going to give you a better strategy instead on this episode. But I want to talk about the difference between credit cards and layaway and why that affects our mindset. So for those of you who have some experience in this lifetime, if you're over the age of 18, you probably have a credit card in your wallet. And if you are a millennial or Generation Z, you may not be really familiar with layaways. But when I was a kid, layaways were the thing. Credit was starting to evolve and be accepted at retailers, but the way to buy things on time was to use a layaway process versus a credit card process. And the difference between a layaway and a credit card is the layaway is you selected the merchandise, and then the retail establishment held that merchandise for you, and you made systematic payments until you could pay it all off for the full amount, and then you would come make that final payment and then receive all that merchandise. That's a great example of any type of goal or delayed gratification where you have to work up front to earn whatever it is that you desire. And that can be a simple goal, like something like stuff. But when I was a kid growing up, clothes were expensive. Very rarely did we ever get store-bought clothes. We mostly made our clothes. So all of the stuff that we ever desired that were clothing items, we had to buy them on layaway. And sometimes by the time that you got them off of layaway, they didn't even fit anymore. By the time my mother could make all the money to pay them off. But then there's this great advent, or so we think, called credit cards. And so what credit cards do is it allows you to have that instant gratification up front. You get what it is that you say you desire right now, and then you work to pay it off over time. But the problem with that, there's a few problems with that. So first, we don't value the item because we haven't worked for it. Second, when we think of terms of, oh, my credit limit, we're not talking about your money. We're talking about other people's money that you are paying for the privilege to use now. So the difference between layaway and credit card is I'm making payments on this in both situations, but on the layaway side, there's no interest being charged, and you don't owe anybody because you haven't borrowed anything. It just helps you budget better if you think about what a layaway does. But with credit cards, a couple of things happen because you get this instant gratification, because you've used this money now. And it's other people's money, but you got what it is now. So you've played with whatever the new gadget is, you've worn whatever that outfit is. The desire to have it or own it is less, but you haven't earned it, right? Because you didn't pay for it. So you didn't put in the blood, sweat, and tears and the effort for that item. So we value it less. And now when it comes time to make those payments back and pay off our credit, as we loosely say, but as we pay back the other people's money plus the interest as the opportunity for the pleasure of borrowing it over time, we're less inclined to do this. And then we feel bogged down by this debt. But what we're really being bogged down by are our ineffective decisions for instant gratification, instead of working our tails off to earn whatever it is that item is that we desire. And the problem with credit in this instant gratification sense is that what happens is we don't value things appropriately because we can have it right now. So we don't hunger for things. We don't long or savor for them. And because we haven't done this, we don't assign the same value to that particular item. And everything becomes novel. All right. And that's the way the brain is. It's always searching in our environment for something novel, especially because it's trying to determine if that novel item is a threat or not. And so everything becomes novel, like this little coaster, this little paper coasters. Ooh, I got to have paper coasters. Do I really need paper coasters? Would my napkins work just fine? Perhaps, but oh, this has got my initial on it, blah, blah, blah. So I got to have this. But if I had to work for it up front, I'd have to really think about it. Do I really need that? I mean, I just worked really hard. I think I want something more desirable to match the value I have just invested in generating this money to go buy things. And if we think about money, because, people think, oh, rich people are evil, or we get these preconceived notions or what I call money-isms about money, about how money is the root of all evil, or money is this, or money is that. And we make these blanket statements, money encourages bad behavior, blah, blah, blah. Money is just a tool. Think of it as a magnifying glass. So if you're a good person and you have money and you all of a sudden have more money, it's just a magnifier of who you are, because with that more money, you'll do great things. You'll take care of yourself. You'll take care of your family. You might spread that kindness to others of your own benevolent free will. That's the best thing. However, if we reel that back, and we think, okay, so I'm not a good person. I am pretty self-centered, and I only do things for others if I have to or if I'm obligated to. And you add a magnifying glass to that, then, you're going to see more of that bad behavior. So what we want to do is take that whole money aspect out of money. And I know that sounds kind of crazy, but we're going to replace that languaging for a moment. And we're going to talk about money in terms of units of choice. So the more units of choice you have, the more choice you have. And so if you have your own money that you have earned, blood, sweat, and tears, created it through however incredible investing skills, blood, sweat, and tears, what have you. If you've generated your units of choice versus borrowed them with a credit card, are you going to invest those units of choice wisely into something that has value? Or are you going to invest it in anything that can go like whatever? These little coasters. It just happens to be what was close that I could grab to illustrate this concept. So when we're using other people's money or other people's units of choice to make our own decisions and affect our own choice, our choices are not as effective when using other people's money as they are when using our own. And this includes whether we're using it for investment. If you borrow money to invest versus using your own money, you'll make different decisions with those, and they may or may not be as effective. So I just wanted to share this concept between layaway and credit card to give you an idea of the difference between earned money and unearned money, and how effective or ineffective we are with our decision making, and why it's critical that we play with the earned money side of the fence. Because number one, we're not paying for the privilege to use it because we've already earned it. So we don't have to deal with buyer's remorse, and that can happen when we spend on credit because we don't evaluate our decisions. We don't invest as much time in making that decision to have it because there's no opportunity cost. There's no, okay, well, I'm going to have to work X amount of hours, or if I have this item, I have to forego this one instead. The choice is different because we're not dealing with money or units of choice that we created. We're borrowing somebody else's units of choice. And so that's why it's critical that we think in these terms. If I should buy something or invest in something with my own money where I've earned it or I've profited with it versus this borrowed money that I have to eventually pay back to someone else, and I have to pay for that privilege of being able to use it now over time. And so now I'm going to have to pay interest on top of that. So I'm not just spending X amount of dollars, I'm spending X amount of dollars plus. It reminds me, for those of you who are old enough to remember the Popeye cartoons and the character Wimpy, and he would always say, I will gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today. Well, if he's borrowing my money, that hamburger is going to cost him more next week than it would have been if he'd have spent his own money today. So I share this with you as we move forward because when we start thinking about goals and we start thinking about New Year's resolutions, the one thing that I've noticed in my own life, as well as the lives of other successful people I surround myself with, is they don't make New Year's resolutions. Every day they get up and they resolve to be great. They work hard in the moment and they focus on what it is that they truly desire, and they look at where they are, and their goal today is to close that gap as quickly and effectively as possible. And that's what's different between people who are successful or ultra successful and the rest of everybody else who is just struggling to get by. And that's why New Year's resolutions are ineffective. Another reason why New Year's resolutions are ineffective is because they're focusing on the wrong thing, okay? When we think of resolutions, I resolve to lose 10 pounds this year, or I resolve to pay off my credit card, or I resolve to get in shape, or I resolve to start something new, a hobby or something like this. And the problem with these resolutions is they are focused on the symptoms of the greater challenges that we have. Because you can focus on and lose those 5 pounds, but what if 5 wasn't all you needed to lose? And what if whatever you sacrificed to get there, you put back in your life? The reason why you are where you are because of the choices you've already made. So if you want different outcomes, you have to make different choices. And that's tough because that's about what? Behavior. And what do we know about behavior? It's consistent because it wouldn't be behavior otherwise. And so what we have to do is look beyond these symptoms of credit card debt or overweight issues. And we have to say, what's the real problem? And the real problem isn't that you gained 5 pounds. It's that you've managed your intake ineffectively. Perhaps it's your lifestyle that's the problem and not the weight. When it comes to managing your money, the reason why your investment side of your accounts is 0 and your credit card balances are 5 or even 6 figures worth of debt is because of the choices that you made. And those choices have ramifications, especially over time. And by resolving to pay off this debt doesn't change the fact that you have made ineffective decisions that put you in debt to begin with. And if you don't work on that, you're going to be in debt and overweight or out of shape or unstimulated by hobbies or activities or engagement with friends or family or whatever it is that you say you resolve to do, because you're not focusing on the real issue. The challenge isn't whatever you're trying to fix. It's the greater behavior that generated where you're currently at. So that's what you have to fundamentally change. And that's why resolve doesn't really work. And New Year's resolutions are something that are gone by the second week of February. If you look at the statistics, they are overwhelmingly against you. Overwhelmingly against you. So, I mean, and I'm all up for a challenge. Don't get me wrong. If you tell me I can't do something or I shouldn't do something, well, the rebel in me is just going to have to prove you wrong. But if I already know the odds are stacked against me, As far as strategy to get there, is that really a strategy that's effective? An 80% failure rate on resolutions. Yeah, I think I should join everybody and do that. Not so much. Why don't I take and study the habits of the successful folks that I respect and admire and adopt their techniques instead? And voila, that's what works. It's really amazing. There's not a whole lot of reinventing of the wheel that we need to do. We just need to follow those who've been successful in front of us. And the only thing that separates us from them in that respect is that, well, they've gotten up one more time than they've fallen down. And that's the problem with resolutions, is they go away. We give up on them, especially when we spin our wheels and we don't generate any effectiveness in it. So I'm going to give you a really cool tactic and a strategy that I have taken and used several times over. And I know that the years that I haven't done any of my forecasting and planning for the next year, which I always do on my birthday in November, that's the years that I seem to have more challenges than the rest. And it's incredible because once you get yourself on track and you understand what behaviors you want to alter, modify, change, or eliminate, then the world just delivers you what it is you say you desire when you get on the path. So I'm going to challenge you, instead of making resolutions, I'm going to challenge you to make commitments to yourself. And these commitments are not outcome-based. It's not about 5 pounds or $20,000 worth of credit cards you want to get rid of. I want you to make a commitment to processes, a commitment to strategies. Become less invested in the outcomes you want to generate and more invested in the processes and strategies and tactics you use to get there. Because goals, and especially these big life-changing transformational goals, are just little itty bitty baby goals that you achieve regularly that accumulate over time that become this big goal. All right. And so when it comes to dieting, it's a matter of math. When it comes to investing, it's a matter of math. Everything kind of boils down to math. Okay. So if it's about getting in shape, it's about moving more and eating less. For example, if you take your car or truck or whatever vehicle you drive and you go to the gas station and you fill up the gas pump, you put it in, and you notice when you put that lever on, the back pressure, when that gas tank is full, boom, or it's supposed to at least automatically shut off that gas tank, right? And why is that? So you don't waste gas and spill it all over the place. But what happens when you eat too much or you spend too much? All right, it gets spilled all over the place. Excess calories move to your rear end, okay? Excess spending moves to negative net worth because now you owe instead of own. And that little vowel from the noun makes all, or vowel from the consonant makes all the difference. Owe or own. Where do you want to be? Do you want to be an owner or an ower? If that's a word. I want to be an owner. That's where I want to be. I want to be a profit generating vehicle so I can maximize this one shot we have at life. Because there's one shot and it's morbid, but it's reality. And you have to come to terms with someday there's 100% success chance that you're not going to be here again. Guaranteed. We just don't know when our clock ticket is getting punched, but it's going to get punched. And what are you doing between now and then to maximize the glorious, amazing things that there are out here in this life to achieve, to experience, to taste, to enjoy while we're here? And the way to do that is to change your behaviors. You change your behaviors, you will materially change your life. And you won't need those resolutions because you're going to be focused on the processes that get you towards achievement. We do this in my goal achievement strategy. We do this in my Achieving Time Mastery, and I'm really excited because the new 7 elements for self-empowerment, revised and expanded with all kinds of bonus material, is coming out in 2020. And it's really great because it focuses on the progress of the process, like we talk about in the Keys to Riches financial philosophy. when we do our forget the perfection principle and are practicing the 3 R's. It's about focusing on the progress of the process. So we're going to eliminate our attachments to the outcome, and we're going to pursue our highest and best use of our time today on the right tactics and strategies that take us to where we want to go. And it's really simple. I mean, this is what I teach in my 3-5 financial strategy, but it can be a strategy for life. All you have to do is focus on or identify where it is that you want to go, identify where you are right now, and close the gap. That's all we got to do is close that gap. And it's a daunting task for some of those bigger, life-changing, extremely exciting, gargantuan goals that we have. And it's great that we have those. But again, all those big goals are a series of little goals achieved daily. You know, to save up for $1 million, it's not that difficult. And it actually can take less than what you think. Even without interest, if you save $3 a day, eventually you'll have $1 million. So it's not that. It's not about the how. The math is easy. It's about getting out of your own way, overcoming all of the obstacles that mostly are right up here, self-generated, because we put the wrong things in priority and we focus on the outcomes and then we miss them and we can't figure out why. And it's because we haven't put together the process for achievement right here, which is all about closing that gap. So if you would like to learn some more, I'm going to do it one time this year, and we're going to talk, and we're going to do it this weekend, and we're going to do our plan for professional success for 2020. It's my free webinar. I would love for you to join me. And we also have some really great goal achievement strategy workshops coming up. And the Keys to Riches is starting all over in the new year. And so the first key is acceptance and affirmation, but our goal setting strategy and our goal achievement occurs in the third key. So 3 weeks into January, when all these resolutions that you make are starting to wane, I'm going to give you some better tactics and strategies, and we're going to have another goal achievement strategy workshop from our 3-5 financial strategy, or our Keys to Riches key 3, which is dreams with deadlines. So I'm super excited about that. So that's your takeaway. That's why you need to get rid of resolutions, because they're outcome based and they continually address the symptom and they're not addressing the problem. So we want to be focused on generating outcomes by keeping our attention on our processes. And I just want to leave you with a great saying. Somebody said this word to me the other day, and I just wanted to reach through the phone and choke the daylights out of them, because this happens to be a quote that they use and espouse regularly too. And so whenever I hear this word, I know that I'm being hazed, especially when I know that they're familiar with this really famous quote from a landmark, iconic movie and film franchise. And this little green guy named Yoda. And Yoda had some amazing wisdom, these incredible gems that he sprinkled while training Luke Skywalker. And one of my favorites, I'm going to paraphrase it because the scene is a little bit more extensive than this paraphrase, but essentially, when we talk about achievement, it is do or do not. There is no try. So whenever someone tells me, oh, Heather, okay, I understand why you're helping me set this goal and create this pathway and use these tactics to get there. So I'll try and do better. And I want to choke them. Try tells me you haven't committed fully to that idea. And when you tell me you're going to try, I am going, try equals no. Try equals no. So don't try to do better this next year and in the coming years. Just for today, do better. Don't try, just make it happen. I love those people that always say, have a nice day. I don't have a choice in the matter if I'm waiting to have one. But I can be empowered by myself when I choose to make it a great day instead. I can try and have a good day, or I can make a commitment to make it a great day. And no matter what happens, my gate can eat my truck like it just did a couple of weeks ago. And they tell me it's going to take months to fix it because of the damage that was done. Even so, that same exact day that my Jeep was eaten didn't stop me from making it a great day, because I still took measured, actionable steps to ensure that I had a great day regardless of what was going on. And so no matter what is raining down, if you are still above ground, it's a great day and you can make it that way. So I'm so grateful that you stopped by. Take some of the links here in either the, where is it? Up here, down there, somewhere, depending on where you are watching this video. Be sure to click the links and enroll in the Plan for Professional Success 2020. And also pay attention to and get on our newsletter list, because we are enhancing it. We've got a lot of great new features coming out this next year here with the new newsletter. And that way you have more than ever before to empower you to achieve everything that you say you congruently desire. So thank you so much for stopping by for our New Year's edition. Be sure to catch our season opener with our favorite guest, our market analyst and financial GPS for Unlock Your Wealth today. That would be Jim Woods, the Way of the Renaissance Man himself, will be stopping by to help you start off 2020 on the right financial feet. So thanks so much for being a part of today's show. For the maestro of Moolah, Michael Terry, I'm Heather Wagenhals. Now go out and unlock your wealth today.
UnlockYourWealthToday.com is produced by Heather Wagenhals and the Unlock Your Wealth Foundation. UnlockYourWealthToday.com and its affiliates are copyrighted 2018 with all rights reserved. For more information on the Keys to Riches Financial Wellness Series, please visit our website at www.unlockyourwealthtoday.com.